Hello my friends who are listening to Ebird Online, and I'm back with my review from 90 Day Fiancé Season 10's Tell-All. Right, so for the first time ever, I'm going to waste no time. I'm going to get straight into it because we've got an awful lot to get through. So without further ado, I give you Season 10's Tell-All. So as per usual, we get to see all of the couples fill up the green room before they actually go onto stage. And first into the green room were of course Gino and Jasmine Jasmine's wearing a glittery lilac dress. And guys, put a pin in that because I'm coming back to it later. She looks good as she usually does, but she lets us know via production that even though they're now married and she's very happy, they're still dealing with some of their old problems and they've added a few new ones to the roster. And so when Miguel and Ashley arrive in the green room, Ashley immediately says, "I'm going to sage everybody," and Jasmine and Gino both said, "We need it." "Really, Gino? Never mind sage. You need a jolly good blasting with a fireman's hose, you dirty dog." And the green room begins to fill up, but the big love-in was between Jasmine and Nikki Exotica. When Nikki came in, and she was wearing this, wow, like a bright pink net toilet roll holder from the 1980s. But I gotta admit, she did look good, she brought the look. And Jasmine jumped up and shrieked, and guys, I knew immediately that these two were going to be bosom buddies, and they were going to be having each other's back throughout the whole of this tell-all, and that's exactly what happened. Very, very predictable. I think when these two clapped eyes on each other, they both just saw dollar signs. Guys, before you know it, they'll be on each other's OnlyFans.
Hi, baby girl. I love you. This is the freaking Barbie.
What a beautiful dress.
Nikki and I being online friends for so long, and finally we could meet each other in person.
You can be the third wheel in my marriage.
Gino, do you approve of that?
Hey, I'm cool with that. It's okay.
Oh good lord, I knew it. This is nothing short of a cash grab. Anyway, it's time to go to set. So very quickly, Sean turns her attention to Jasmine and Gino. She tells Jasmine, "I'm a Michigan girl. How are you finding those freezing temperatures?" "Oh, Sean, she's finding them absolutely fine because she's been in New York for the last 3 months." And Jasmine was quite amusing. She said, "I'm not coping, I'm just surviving, one day at a time." That was quite funny. The same can be said of Gino, I believe. Anyway, when Sean went to introduce them, she said, "I want to turn to our veterans, Gino and Jasmine." And Jasmine smiled, only but the widest of smiles, just like a Cheshire cat. Guys, she just lives for this limelight, she really does. I'm still puzzling away, trying to work out what it is she sees in Gino. Is it the green card? Could she be in love? Just being in America? Is it money? What is it? It quite simply can't be Gino. I refuse to believe it. It really is one of life's greatest mysteries. I expect a blue moon sooner than I expect this relationship to make sense. And so Sean said, "How has marriage been?" And Jasmine started laughing. And then Gino said, "Well, we're a work in progress." Guys, you're not a work in progress. You're a divorce waiting to happen. I don't know when these two will finally wake up and smell the coffee. I hate the phrase a work in progress. It just means the shit's as bad as it's ever been. Nothing's changed. So yeah, it can't be that she loves Gino. It just can't. I wasn't going to bother mentioning this, but I don't know. Did anybody else see this? Sean reminded us when Gino took his hat off at the wedding. You know, for the wedding photographer. And Sean asked him, "How hard was that for you to do?" Sean, I can answer that. It was hard, but not nearly as hard as it was for us to look at. Guys, he's got a random bit of hair on the back of his head. See for yourself.
Now that
No.
you will mean a lot. Just one picture, babe.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, there's one random bit of hair at the back of his head. Why ever wouldn't he just shave his whole head? Guys, I was really concerned and disturbed by it. Anyway, next up, they talk about Jasmine's BBL. And Gino lets us all know he likes big butts and he cannot lie. And he tells Sean he wished she'd have got it even bigger. Really, Gino? Then she'd have had to shag Dane even more times to pay off the debt for an even bigger butt. For we know that's what happened.
Jasmine admitted that her ex, Dane, paid $2,000 towards the surgery. Gino, have you forgiven Jasmine for this?
Yeah, but I'm still upset about it. There's no reason for her to go to her ex.
Why would he give it to her unless he's getting something out of it?
Guys, for the first time this season, Sam and I are on the same page. But whilst all this is happening, see how she's beaming and smiling. There's no hint of regret. There's no shame in her game. But in about 10 minutes, Sean's about to wipe the smile right off Jasmine's face. TLC have moved along from telling half-truths and misrepresentations to outright freaking lies. And one such lie was one of the questions that the public have allegedly submitted for the cast members. And somebody allegedly asked, out of everybody on the cast, who would you have a child with? But TLC was so busy faking questions and telling lies that they forgot to actually say other than your partner. But luckily for them, the cast just took this as read.
Oh, Nikki, who did you just point to? Gino.
Pointed, no?
No,
She's
not
pointing
Gino.
me.
Jasmine. Jasmine.
You would have a baby with Jasmine.
She would have my baby.
Oh, what is...
Okay.
I don't know how...
I will carry her baby.
And guys, it had me in stitches. Rob looked really puzzled and he said, well, how would that work? Oh, Rob, stick by Sophie for long enough and you'll be able to see for yourself. It will all be happening under your roof in due course. Anyway, Jasmine in turn said that she likes girls and that she'd have a baby with Nikki. Guys, I'm very certain that these two are shaping up to, I don't know, make some money on social media together. They'd both sleep with each other. They'd both have babies with each other. No, you wouldn't. You genuinely actually really wouldn't. Why the bullshit? And so then Rob asked Jasmine, is there anything between you and your ex? And Jasmine said, no, absolutely not. And he said, well, I've heard you tell Gino that you've slept with him and throw it in his face before. And she said it wasn't true. I did it because I'm a bitch and I just wanted to get at him. I knew what would trigger him. And Gino butted in to say, guys, that affects our intimacy. And to that I say maybe, maybe not. We did, if I remember rightly, see Gino in a chemist before he'd ever actually met Jasmine in person, purchasing Viagra, so there was a problem there even before you'd heard her slick mouth. So as you guys all know, Lady Karma never misses an appointment. She's busy sharpening her nails out back because Sean's got something in store for Jasmine's ass. But first we revisit our old friend Lipgloss Gate. This boring story. As we all know, Jasmine found a lipstick in the footwell of Gino's car and she literally wanted to stop the fucking world and get off. She definitely thought that he'd been cheating, and he of course denies it. Guys, I can honestly say, I once lost a mascara, fair enough, in my own car, well, in Mr. Ebird's car, and I found it about 4 years later. Despite looking under the seat, despite looking everywhere for it, I couldn't find it, so I honestly think when it comes to makeup, anything's possible. But again, let's stick a pin in this story, and in the words of Sean, we'll circle back to it. Anyway, next up, the surest proof that Sean Robinson from TLC is a living, breathing, walking, talking trigger merchant. Because she lets Jasmine know, you didn't see all the footage we had of the strip club, look at this. And she showed her a montage. And guys, I have to say, it really was quite graphic. And I think it was quite unfair to show Jasmine this while she's on TV and in front of everybody else on the cast. And why you'd do this to somebody, I have no earthly idea. Oh Lord, and Gino's behaviour was lascivious at best and, well, debauched in reality. Gino makes Anali look like a bloody Sunday school teacher. But by far, the worst thing about all of this was the fact that, as it was playing, Gino was glued to the screen and he was grinning and laughing and smiling, and Jasmine was absolutely in sobs of tears. And when the montage had finally finished, Nikki actually shouted out, "Why are you laughing, Gino?" And so I thought this was pretty low down behaviour from TLC. I mean, obviously it is from Gino, but we take that as read. But I taped this whole montage to chop it up for you guys, and to take the worst bits out, and it was nearly 2 minutes long. Was that really necessary, TLC? Anyway, Trigger Merchant Sean has got yet more for Jasmine, because guys, she brings onto stage one of the strippers that was there that night. What? I wish I was making it up. What in God's name are they playing at? What is the point of this? You're asking a stripper about a trick that was in her club 9 months ago. Gino's ultimately very forgettable at the best of times. There's not a chance on earth that she remembered who the hell Gino was. But notwithstanding all logic, Sean begins with the interrogation.
Hi, Daisy. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Daisy, can you tell us how Gino was acting when he was at the strip club?
He was very awkward. He seemed very uninterested in being there, just kind of wanted to hang with his family and have a good time in a good environment.
Okay, so let the lies begin. We've just seen Gino, my love, and he was everything but awkward. In fact, he was very at home. His ex-girlfriend's a stripper. He's spent 50% of the money he's ever been paid in strip clubs. He's very au fait with the whole strip world. And there's nowhere he'd rather be. It's virtually like he's at home. He was not awkward. When was the last time you knew motorboating to be awkward? And Jasmine said, if I'd have seen this before the wedding, I would never have gotten married to you. Jasmine, yeah, you would. He's done far worse. The lure of TV fame is just too intoxicating for you. Anyways, isn't this about time for one of Jasmine's dramatic outbursts?
You were hugging them, you know. You never look at me that way. You never made me feel desire. You never complimented me that way.
And then she melodramatically stormed off set. Gino just sat there and watched her, and Nikki ran after her like a bright pink poodle. And then Gino said, I did nothing wrong. I have the right to enjoy myself. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Gino, you go to the strip club more often than you clean that disgusting apartment of yours. And also, you've been married twice, you little klutz. That's your second bachelor party. So anyway, back to Daisy, the pole dancer with a heart. And she says once again that Gino was really awkward. I say to you once again, Daisy, no he wasn't. And then she said that his behaviour at the club was quite tame for a bachelor party. She's seen a lot worse. Daisy, I'm sure you have. There's always worse out there. I'm sure at some point in your travels you've borne witness to Jovi and his antics. It wouldn't surprise me. I've heard he's been about a bit. This neither helps Jasmine nor absolves Gino. But guys, the whole time they were having this conversation, you could hear Jasmine from the green rooms literally screaming and shouting, "He never hugged me that way! He never loved me that way!" Oh guys, it was quite amusing, I have to say.
He never hugged me that way. Never!
You just hugged the girl. It wasn't like that great.
Oh dear, I know I shouldn't laugh, but she does amuse me.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, wow indeed, Sean. You caused all of this, and you know you did. And then Sean said one of the most ridiculous statements I think I've ever heard. Do you think that Daisy saying he was quite restrained and that he was on his best behaviour means that there should be some redemption for Gino? No, Sean, no. Daisy's just saying whatever she's got to say to keep those punters stuffing Benjamins down her knickers. That's Daisy's game. I don't blame Daisy one little bit. I'd do exactly the same. And then Sean reminded us all why she shouldn't be hosting this tell-all, or any other tell-all come to that. Gino told everybody that his ex-girlfriend was a stripper. And Sean had the temerity to be shocked. She said, really? I don't think we knew that. Sean, I knew that. I knew about 2 or 3 years ago. And nobody pays me to do this shit. Certainly not your salary anyway. Do yourself a favour and start listening to the Ebird. She'll clue you in on what you need to know. Anyway, Nikki tells Jasmine that she's a strong bitch and she needs to just go out there and say whatever she's got to say. And for once, Nikki's correct. So Jasmine struts back onto stage and she graciously apologises to Sean. And then she told the stripper, I'm triggered because he seemed really into you. He was hugging you and touching you. And the stripper tried to backpedal a bit, but, well, stripper, we saw it all. Come on now, Daisy. But guys, it gets worse. Then she asked Daisy if it was Daisy's lip gloss in the car. And of course Daisy said no. I only ever met Gino at the strip club. It never went any further than that. But basically, Jasmine, you're asking Daisy if she's a hoe, more or less. Oh dear. Her temerity knows no bounds. Anyway, we finally say adios to Daisy. And the whole cast go back into the green room for lunch. But guys, Jasmine never ever fails to amaze me. Look at what she did next.
Okay, so this is something. I'm sorry, Clayton, my hands are shaking. This is something that I got in my house. Okay, I'm gonna read it for you.
Guys, I'm literally speechless. Who has a red handbag with a lilac dress and white shoes, just in case you're wondering? And Jasmine had the temerity to argue with Gino about his red and baby blue walls. This, as far as I'm concerned, is a worse misdemeanor. But anyway, let's get on to the contents of the letter.
Jasmine, Gino and I had so much fun at the bachelor's party. Sorry for the lip gloss. You can keep it. but it won't look as good on you as it does on me.
What a bitch.
Here's my panties that she took off that night.
What?
The rest you can keep for your imagination.
And then she opened a bag and she said, I haven't touched these, I don't know anything about them. And she put a pair of black lacy knickers on the floor. And according to the rest of the cast, the wearer had a yeast infection. How lovely. Now guys, I'm going to stick my neck out a bit here and I'm going to say Jasmine wrote that letter. Let's take it point by point. Firstly, it was typed. Why? Why wouldn't the actual sender of the letter just either handwrite it themselves or get someone else to handwrite it? Because they didn't want to be identified. Now, if it was the actual person who'd had an affair with Gino, they would be identified by the fact that he would know who it was. So this doesn't make any sense right from the off. And secondly, it sounds every bit like something Jasmine would say. Sorry for the lip gloss. You can keep it, but it will look better on me than it would on you. It's not even a diss, it's just very, very childish. I don't know many people that are that childish, but I'll tell you who is. Jasmine. And the letter finishes, the rest you can keep for your imagination. So it's in broken English. So whoever this mystery person was didn't speak proper English.
Here's my panties that she took off that night.
What?
The rest you can keep for your imagination.
I'm sorry to say, but that sounds exactly the type of thing that Jasmine would say. It's in her vernacular. And then finally, the fact that she seemed to know that these knickers had some sort of a yeast infection on them and she knew not to touch them. If there was a letter and a bit of material in a bag, I guarantee this, you would pull them both out at the same time. If anything, you're more likely to pull the material out. You're thinking, oh wow, it's a stray delivery gone to my address. What a result, what a win. So she would have already pulled those knickers out of the bag as soon as she got that letter. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I rest my case. Jasmine was the writer of this letter, and she put a pair of her knickers in for good measure. To his credit, Gino said, it wasn't from anyone that I've had an affair with, it was just a fan that put it at the door. Really, Gino? What fan knows where you live? This has Jasmine's paw prints all over it.
Oh, it's not true. None of this is true. I knew what she had because I seen it before myself, but I can't believe that she even showed that or was trying to suggest that I was with this person. I think it could be a fan or an ex that left it. Who knows?
So guys, that's about everything for Jasmine and Gino. I'd love to know what you think about this. Do you think Jasmine was behind the poison pen letter? I think she was. She pretended her hands were shaking as she took the letter out, but her acting really isn't very good. So please let me know what you think in comments down below and I'll get on with my next video. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Please, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And to help my algorithm, please smash the like button. You've been listening to Ebird Online and I bid you good day.
Baby